own cultivation core and gave it to a little beggar by the road, just so she could stay alive. But later I found out she was the lost princess of the Fuyao Empire. I helped wipe out her enemies and plot her rise, and a few years later, I raised her into an empress admired by all. But the first thing she did after taking the throne was order me expelled from the empire. When I heard the news, I went to Fuyao Hall. There, above everyone else, sat Empress Nangong Fuyao, and beside her was another man. His name was Xiao Wuchen. He was the most gifted young talent in the Fuyao Empire, a top prodigy born with the supreme bone. I looked at her and met Nangong Fuyao's gaze. Xiao Ran colluded with a foreign race and plotted rebellion. He should have had all 9 generations of his clan executed, but considering his past service, I will show him mercy. He is hereby expelled from the Fuyao Empire. Even when the decree first came out, I already had a feeling this was coming, but hearing it come from her own mouth still hit me hard. What? Are you questioning me? Her imperial aura burst out at once. Looks like you really don't need me anymore. But those words stabbed deep into the Empress's heart. She was an empress whose word was law, not some little girl who needed protecting. She didn't want anyone to know that the mighty Empress of Fuyao once had such a miserable past, and she couldn't stand that behind all her success stood someone like me, especially now that I was just a cripple. Sure, you've done a lot for the Empire, but don't think too highly of yourself. Right now, my court is full of talent. I don't need you. I looked at the now strange Nangong Fuyao, and for some reason, my heart grew calm instead. If that's what you want, then so be it. With that, I turned and walked away. As I passed the courtyard, I casually pulled out the long sword stuck in the ground. The moment the sword left the earth, a violent roar came from beneath the imperial capital, as if some overwhelming power was about to burst out. The world only knew I'd lost my cultivation core and become a cripple, but no one knew I'd awakened something unique, a cheat system meant only for transmigrators. With that system, in just 20 short years, I reached a level of cultivation beyond what anyone could imagine. At that level, I wasn't all that interested in getting stronger anymore. I stayed in my little patch of land, and every now and then I'd head underground to mess with those 2 monsters for fun. But now, maybe I could keep improving through the system's mission and see what lies at the end of cultivation. According to the system, I needed to head south and take on a disciple of my own. I'd long heard how beautiful the southern lands were, and now I could finally go see them for myself. The moment I left, the capital of Fuyao fell into total chaos. Can somebody tell me what the hell is going on with the seal? Ever since those 2 monsters were sealed beneath the capital, they've always stayed quiet. There was never any sign they'd try to break out. Your Majesty, we just checked. We didn't find anything wrong with the seal. Send people to reinforce it at once. Keep a close watch on the underground movement. The second anything happens, report to me immediately. After issuing a string of orders, Nangong Fuyao finally returned to Fuyao Hall. For some reason, she'd been feeling restless these past 2 days. A few days later, I stood alone atop a mountain peak, staring out at the distant view. Man, the world outside really is beautiful. Just as I was sighing, several figures rushed over from afar. Leading them was a young girl in a long dress. Brother Xiao, why'd you come all the way out here by yourself? After leaving the Imperial City and traveling a few hundred miles, I ran into Liu Ye and the others on the road. We got along really well, so we decided to travel together. Brother Xiao, be careful. There are demon beasts in these mountains. If we run into a strong one, we might not be able to protect you. I smiled a little and accepted her kindness. Then we kept moving. As time passed, the news that I had been expelled from the Fuyao Empire slowly spread. At that moment, inside the barbarian kingdoms. What, you're saying that demon was kicked out of the Fuyao Empire? This just came back from the imperial capital. It's absolutely true. Bullshit. No way Nangong Fuyao is stupid enough to do something like that. How dumb do you have to be to pull that off? So you're saying we don't need that alliance anymore? Our 2 barbarian kingdoms are among the strongest powers in the southern frontier. That tiny Fuyao Empire, I never thought much of it to begin with. And now they think they can stand on equal footing with us? The only reason we kept quiet before was because that demon was there. If he's really gone, then there's no reason to give the Fuyao Empire any respect. At the same time, beneath the Fuyao Empire, the 2 sealed monsters brooded in the darkness. The pressure's been gone these past few days. If I'm right, he took that sword away. Without that sword, these flimsy chains and the suppression above us won't hold us much longer. But what does he mean by this? Once that sword is gone, we can break the seal in one shot. When we get out, I'll make these damned humans pay. Just then, footsteps came from above. An old man and a young man led a group of cultivators to inspect the seal. Grand Tutor's son, don't you think? Xiao Ran did make huge contributions to the Empire, so now he's really just being cast out like this? Xiao Ran was impressive back then, but back then was back then. Now he's nothing but a cripple. Every word of their conversation fell clearly into the darkness below. The 2 monsters' eyes widened instantly. Xiao Ran was expelled? Whether that rebellion charge is true or not, one thing is real, he clearly doesn't know his place. He's obviously just a cripple, yet he still leans on old achievements, and acts like he's somebody important. Now that he's been expelled, that's the best ending he could ask for. But the moment Grand Tutor's son finished speaking, 2 earth-shaking roars exploded from the darkness. Xiao Ran really was expelled from the Empire. If he's gone, then break the seal. We're getting out, now! Meanwhile, back in Fuyao Hall, Nangong Fuyao still had no idea what was happening, but her face had already turned ugly. Just moments ago, the 2 barbarian kingdoms sent word that the alliance talks would be postponed. For the Fuyao Empire, that was a huge deal. Carry out my order. Prepare 2 lavish gifts and send them to the 2 barbarian kingdoms. Your Majesty, won't that make them look down on us? The alliance matters too much to the Empire. But if we keep yielding like this, as long as the alliance goes through, a few slights don't matter. Wise as always, Your Majesty. Wise as always, Your Majesty. I dug out my own cultivation core and gave it